Tell me what you want. Do you want me to? Oh, is this the interview that we do, or do you want to do that afterwards, Simon?
I'll do that afterwards.
That's okay. Talking about what? So what normally happens is that I turn up, as Phil knows only too well, and I tell you all about this place and why it's haunted and everything else, and then I start raving on about what ghosts really are and the reality behind ghosts. Which takes usually about half an hour or something like that, and everybody's sat there falling asleep by this time. And no, they're not.
So now I have to start chucking me chips at you to keep you awake.
If that's what you want, or do you want to just get on with investigating?
I would like to know a tiny bit of the history.
Oh, we've got to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I know you've got experiences there.
Oh yeah. I should go there. You see, I'm trying to spread the word as to what the reality behind ghosts are, you see. And talking about all sorts of stuff as well. So anyway, let's try. This is Derby Jail. It's the county jail. It's a jail, not a prison. There's a difference. And the difference is that this is like being on remand. It was built in 1756 and was the second of 3 county jails. So any crime committed in Derbyshire, if you were caught, you ended up being brought here. But you were only here until the trial. So if you missed the summer assizes, you had to wait here until the autumn assizes, and you'd be kept here like being on remand, and then punishment was meted out on you, which wasn't imprisonment, apart from if you were a debtor. If you owed money, then you would be kept here until you paid off your debts.
It's just like a holding cell.
Which was a bit difficult. If you've got no money.
Yeah.
So you're going to be here a long time then,
wouldn't you?
wouldn't
Be
you?
here a long time.
Yeah.
Or family or somebody would eventually pay your debts, or you commit suicide in here. Loads of suicides have taken place in here, obviously. So the punishments meted out to you were being whipped at the cart's tail till your back be bloody.
Ouch.
So they tied you to the back of a horse and cart and whipped you through the streets of Derby. Stripped naked, stripped to the waist, male or female, and when you got back here, salt rubbed into the wounds when you were taken back into your cell. Depending on the severity of the crime that you'd committed, you could well be taken out again next week.
Wow.
Whipped again, obviously with the same wounds. That probably did kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, the crimes back then would be, you could be
Trivia.
death for just nicking a sheep or a chicken or something.
Or
yeah,
loaf
you
of bread.
Yeah, you wait. Then the next one was branding with a red hot branding iron with a letter T on the side of your cheek.
Yeah.
Letter T. That's an early form of CRB check. You try and walk into a jewellery shop with a letter T on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then of course there was transportation. But the fascinating thing about transportation is that everyone thinks that it was all Australia. It wasn't. It was America.
Oh.
All of our convicts were sent either to the Spice Islands, the Caribbean, parts of Africa, and America. And then we lost America in 1776. We couldn't send anybody to America anymore, and so we got nowhere. We hadn't got prisons that were big enough to accommodate all these people that had committed crimes. So what we did was we put them on prison hulks on the River Thames, which was an old rotting ship that they converted into like cages inside it, and they locked you up in there. And then, whoopee, we got Australia. 1787, the first fleet went from Portsmouth or Southampton, I can't remember which, to Australia, and then all our convicts did go to Australia. But originally it was the United States. Got a load of convicts there, just the same. So that's whipping at the cart's tail, branding, transportation, or hanging. When industrialisation took over big time and everyone moved from the towns, everyone moved from the countryside into the towns to work in factories and mills and what have you, the crime rate went through the roof. Literally through the roof, because people were living in very squalid conditions, very poor wages, and the government needed to do something to try and control the crime rate in this country, and so they thought the best way of doing that was to kill as many criminals as possible. And from 1723 in this country, there were 222 hanging offences.
Wow.
Wow.
Think of a crime, trust me, it was a hanging offence from 1723. It was called the Bloody Code.
Yeah, I
Stealing a
bet.
sheep, stealing a cow, shop breaking, house breaking, burglary, rape, attempted rape, murder, attempted murder, setting fire to haystacks. 4 men hanged in front of this building in 1817 for setting fire to a haystack.
Wow.
In the same year, 3 men hanged and beheaded in front of Derby Jail. The last beheading with an axe in Great Britain, in front of this building. The last rebellion in England, and the last sentence of hanging, drawing and quartering in provincial England, here in front of Derby Jail. It's got a pedigree second on this place, I tell you.
Sounds it.
Breaking down riverbanks was a hanging offence. Cutting down ornamental trees, poaching, shooting rabbits, well that's poaching anyway.
Yeah.
Appearing on the street with a sooty face.
Huh?
But that's a job though, because you're up in the chimneys cleaning it.
Not a cleaner or chimney.
I presume chimney sweeps have to have a wash in between jobs.
Wow.
Or hang on a minute, did they work at night?
Yeah, they'd have to, otherwise.
They probably didn't, to be honest with you.
Weird.
But basically, why did you have a sooty face?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Camouflage
cleaning
cream.
chimneys.
Camouflage cream.
Oh.
You're a burglar. Or you're a poacher. Blackened your face.
I was to hide your identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you've been out burgling or poaching, hanging offence. Absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, I am working towards the reason why a place like this is so haunted. Because obviously it's the nature of the place. You see, right, what am I all about? I'm interested in the history that caused the ghost. I'm not interested in, there's a grey lady in there. Who's the pink lady in that one? There's a ghost in there. No, I want to know why there's a ghost.
Where it
Who
originated from.
Who is the ghost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to the ghost that
Yeah.
caused it to be a ghost?
Yeah.
And that's where the reality comes in my opinion. So it's the history behind the haunting, if you like.
Yeah.
Which is all, I think, is all important.
Yeah.
So
it
anyway,
is.
so we've got all these hanging offences, right, from 1723. Right, so we've got a young chap of 26. He's got 4 kids. His wife's pregnant with the 5th. He was working in Derby Silk Mill and turned up late for work one morning, so they sacked him. His wife's pregnant with the 5th kid, so she can't go out to work, and the kids are starving. Sounds a bit similar, doesn't it?
Yes.
They stopped eating completely 2 weeks earlier, and any scraps they could get, beg, borrow, steal, whatever, for the kids. So he goes off up the road to a place called Kedleston Hall, and he snares 3 rabbits.
Oh.
And he's walking back through the woods with these 3 rabbits, and he's caught by the gamekeeper. He's brought here to Derby Jail. The rabbits are confiscated and used for evidence in the court. So
They're going to smell a bit.
The kids don't even get them, right? And he's sentenced to hang. He's brought back here to Derby Jail to await execution in the condemned cell, knowing that not only he's going to die,
His family.
but his family's probably going to die. They were dying anyway.
Yeah.
Before he risked his life to get food for his kids, they were starving. So without Dad, the breadwinner,
Yeah.
Mum can't go out. She's pregnant with the 5th kid.
Yeah.
They're probably all there. He knows that. Sitting in the condemned cell waiting to die. Then we've got another lad called, God, I can't remember his name. Something Wielden. Come on, Phil, you should help me with this. Can't remember his name.
Pass.
No, Joseph Wielden. Joseph Wielden hacked his niece and nephew to death with a gorse hook. A gorse hook is similar to a scythe,
Yeah, it's a
but it's
scythe.
straighter. It's for hedging.
Yeah.
And the little boy of 8 put up quite a fight, and he hacked him to pieces on the kitchen floor. And his little niece, the 4-year-old little girl, he beheaded her. And he was brought here to Derby Jail and put on trial for murder and sentenced to death. Now, guys, I don't care whether you're into executions or not, or whether you believe we should do it or not. Of those 2,
Yeah.
we
Why
all
are they?
know, don't we?
Similar situation.
Yeah.
Both
that
get-
situation, yeah.
Yeah, so similar situations, but different.
Yeah, but guess what?
Me-
As you
yeah.
can imagine, they were both hanged.
Yeah.
As were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of what I would refer to as almost innocent people that were hanged for the most trivial crimes in this country.
It's innocent people.
Yeah.
That makes it more
I mean,
sad.
innocent
Yeah.
people. Yeah. So it was rather unfair, to say the least. So they decided that they needed to create a punishment for murder that was worse than a punishment for murdering 3 rabbits, or for breaking down a riverbank, or setting fire to haystacks. And of course, this was where the church came in again. And forgive me if anybody is. I don't think you'd be on a ghost hunt if you were particularly religious people, but I have a big down on not on the church at all. I have a big down on what man has done to the church and how we've corrupted it for our own
Yeah.
gain, greed, and revenge. Basically, that's where I am with the church, or all religions. In fact, to be honest with you, they're all designed to control us.
Yeah.
In some way.
Here we are.
And have
Yeah.
created ghosts big time. So the church came up with this brilliant idea of, for a murderer, creating a terror beyond death. Terror beyond death. Anybody? Marriage?
The gibbet.
Yeah. So terror beyond death. Right. The first part. So in 1752 they passed the Murder Act. The government passed the Murder Act with the help of the church as well. And the first part of the Murder Act was that no murderer after 1752 was allowed to be buried.
Right.
At all.
Right.
No burial, right. So, no 6 foot of English earth, no gravestone with your name on it, no family around the grave, no Christian burial service to lay you
To rest.
Yeah,
To
to
rest.
rest.
which is one of the phrases I use so much in my ghosty stuff. If you're not laid to rest, where are you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are abroad,
Unsettled.
wandering the earth as a tormented soul, a ghost, basically.
Yeah.
In a loop.
So it's created, but of course, what are we going to do with the body?
Burn them?
Mm-hmm.
Burn it.
No.
Now, what I really would like to do now is to take you into the murder room and explain the second part of the Murder Act.
Oh, so I think I know. They'd have been took to medical science, wouldn't they?
Mm.
Ah.
It's rather good. Yeah, that's Joseph Wheeldon, by the way. That's his penny. These are called penny dreadfuls. They weren't this big. The night before your execution, they came into the damn cell and interviewed you and wrote down your life story. This is like a Westlife programme. This is what they wanted. These were sold for a penny a sheet at your execution, so that people could read about you, because you were the star performer. Incredible. So, part 2 of the Murder Act, right? 1752. No murderer was allowed to be buried. So what we're going to do with the body? The death sentence for a murderer after 1752 was that you be taken back from this courtroom to the jail from whence you came, and from there to a place of lawful execution. There you will be hanged by the neck until you are dead. Now remember this bit, until you are dead.
Yeah.
There's a really valid point in this bit. And then publicly dissected and
Ouchie.
anatomised in the Shire Hall here in Derby, or the Shire Hall in Nottingham, or Leicester, or Stafford, or whatever county down it was. So, after you were dead, or hopefully dead, you were taken to the Shire Hall, laid on a dissecting table, and the first thing they did was wire you up to a battery. I'm not talking of 4 AA batteries either. I'm talking of a huge vat of water with a zinc tower in it and a copper tower in it and wires. This is in 1752, by the way. You do know the Egyptians had batteries, do you, in the pyramids? Not in the pyramids, but yeah. Oh, there's nothing new on this planet, I'm telling you. So they wired you up, one of your legs would go up in the air, the chest would heave, the face would sometimes grimace. People fled, because don't forget this was public. He's coming back to life. Well, they weren't far from the truth, were they?
Sounds like Frankenstein, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You wait. How do we bring people back to life?
Shock.
Yes.
Shock.
Electricity.
Yeah.
1752. Right, anyway. Right, guy from Derby, Erasmus Darwin, grandfather of Charles Darwin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Most incredible guy you would... I'm not going to go into the history lesson, but he invented evolution before Charles Darwin, photosynthesis, steering mechanism for car. Anyway, forget all that. He was a doctor. He dissected murderers here in Derby.
Oh.
He was fascinated by electricity. And when Mary Shelley wrote the novel Frankenstein, if
Yes.
you've got a copy, have a look at the preface. The inspiration for this novel is Dr. Darwin of Derby,
Ah.
Oh,
because
wow.
of dissecting murderers.
Ah.
Oh boy. Anyway, after they played with you a bit, right? The next thing they did was flayed the skin. They
Inside.
pulled all your skin off, sent it to the tan yard here in Full Street in Derby, tanned your skin, and used it to bind books telling of your life and trial. If there was a big enough piece of skin, a pair of slippers for the local man as a souvenir.
What?
There are
Oh,
up and down the country,
You were in Dave.
in glass
Having like trees
in
made
glass
out of
cases
Brady.
to this day in museums. There are books bound in the skin of murderers.
Wow.
One of the best ones I've ever had anything to do with
Piddling himself.
Brady's book.
is
New Louis Vuitton handbag.
Moyses Hall in Suffolk, in Bury St Edmunds. There is a book bound in a murderer's skin and his pickled scalp with
Oh.
one ear still attached.
Oh my
Still on this.
God.
I've had that in my greasy little mitts when I did Ghosts of Suffolk. Let me take it out of the glass case. There's books up and down the country bound in human skin
Oh,
of murderers.
God.
The next thing they did was they boiled your bones in a big cauldron to get the meat off them, and then sent them to the local skeleton maker, wired up, and then presented to the local hospital. There's a real skeleton behind you there.
Yeah. That is a human one.
Yeah, that's real.
I know.
And the little skull at the
Can tell.
bottom.
That
which
looks
is
like a
disappeared.
child, actually.
Oh, it's here now. Well, you're right. If you look at the two skulls in this second glass case,
Yeah.
the one on the right
Jackie's got to stand up.
is a child under 6. It's still got its milk teeth in it. And that came out of a badger set at Tutbury Castle.
That's called.
Guy walking his dog.
Small.
Guy walking his dog. Saw this skull lying on the ground by a badger set. Incredible. So after they boiled your bones, your bits were all removed and cut up and used for the furtherance of medical science. Of course, that was a part of the idea.
Oh, sugar.
There's a down bottom. There's a heart at the bottom there in a glass case, in a bottle. There's a brain in a bottle there.
Nice.
No.
Brains.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have a look at them after.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Just fancy Chinese now.
No.
Now, yeah,
I know, I just had a Chinese.
So the terrible part about this was that you, the person, the human being, ceased to exist. I mean, completely. You were obliterated. There was nothing left of you. You were gone, which they feared because the people. Right. The punchline of the story is, guys, the body wasn't whole, and that meant on the day of judgment, no physical resurrection for you, no material resurrection. Which it was the body of Christ that came out.
Yes.
So you have on the day of judgment. Apparently, we all come back together again. You know. You know that? Yeah, we all come back together. Bollocks. That's what they believed at the time.
Yeah.
So the body wasn't whole on the day of judgment. So they know they're not going to get in through the pearly gates. They ain't going to go to hell. I'll stop here, thanks. That's cause goes, and that's what they were doing. They were condemning them to hell. That was the terror beyond death. Hellfire and damnation. Ripping of flesh and gnashing of teeth and all the terrors of Dante's Inferno, all this mumbo jumbo. Of course they believed it. They got nothing else in those days other than their religion, their faith.
Yeah.
Because you know, death was commonplace. Most people were dead by 40.
Yeah.
Kids died before them. They'd been in battles, executions. That it was the afterlife that was so dramatically important to people in those days that they tried everything in their power to be able to get in through the pearly gates. Well, you take somebody to pieces like that.
Yeah.
They know they're not going to get in through the pearly gates. Same thing with hanging, drawing, and quartering with Catholic priests and things like that. The body wasn't whole, and so on the day of judgment, they're going to go to hell. Now, it was up to the judge. He could do one of two things: have you public dissected or gibbeted.
Yeah, that was
Hung
just-
30 feet in the air near the scene of the murder, with the fowls of the air pecking at your flesh, pecking out your eyes. And we did it twice in Derby. We did it to a guy in front of Derby Jail in 1815, Anthony Lingard. I believe he's still lingering here. And they hanged him,
Weird.
and
It
then
is.
before he was executed, the blacksmith, as they always did, used to measure you for your last suit.
Yep.
It was the metal cage, and they hung him up in 1815, and they didn't take him down till 1826.
Ugh, that's smelly.
Oh, yeah, you used to just leave them
There's
out,
the
didn't
pub
you,
in
to rot?
Sheffield, isn't
There is indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go
there's
there. I
some
want to go and do a
Sheffield,
talk
yeah.
there. I want to do the
It's now a
execution.
hotel.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not a pub no more, it's a hotel.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I believe like the Leopard Inn's gone as well, hasn't it?
Oh, the leopard's gone.
Oh
That's
yeah,
going to be
burned down. I
apartments.
was gutted.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
going to be
burned down.
apartments. I think. Yeah. I never got
Wants
to do
to
that.
go there.
Unfortunately, I never got to do that. Unfortunately, quite something. So that's the terror beyond death, and it was. I mean, it really. What did it work? No, I don't think so. I don't think it I don't think it stopped murders. It didn't stop murders.
But it was more like a statement as well, wasn't it?
It was
Yeah.
revenge. And yeah. Right, that's done.
Whoops.
This room. Let's go back down there now and continue with. I think most of it in this building are people that have stayed behind. An intelligence that hasn't moved on. I'm sure of that. I've seen I'll show you in a minute. I've seen a ghost in here at 3:20 on a Friday afternoon.
That's cool.
And while I'm sat here now, I'll just show you what happened on Halloween. Not this Halloween, the Halloween before. After we'd finished the ghost walks and everything, I decided that I would do ghost stories for Halloween. Invited everybody that came on ghost walks. If they want to come back, bar's open. We can. 11:20 on Halloween, not this year, the year before. I'm sat where you are.
Yeah.
My whiskey glass was there. There's a couple sat here. There's Gina Sugden filming me where you are.
Yeah, I know Gina.
CCTV camera up there. And I'm just talking about ghosts and everything else. Picked up the glass of whiskey, had a drink, put it back down again. Talking it well again. Did it again. All of a sudden, this glass starts to go.
I know.
So quiet, so silent, and threw itself off.
Wow.
We did more than that. There were a group of students all sat round there from Derby. They were, oh, fucking Jesus Christ, bloody hell. I said, come on, hang on a minute. So straight away, the first thing I jump up, I said, first thing did you get that on camera? Oh,
No.
No, I don't know. Yeah, she did. Oh, God, it's on YouTube. Yeah.
Yes.
That's how come I know.
So the first thing I did, you've all seen a pint of beer slide across the bar if there's water. Yeah.
Yeah.
First thing I'm doing, I say, no, it's not wet, it's not wet. And lady gets up from over here, she says, no, it's right, it's not wet. So the next thing I do, somebody brings another one, because obviously, by the way, I lost my bloody whiskey, which is even more important. So we put another one there, same place as you can see on camera, and I'm going, lorry going by outside. That's how I'm doing it.
And it's not moving.
Yeah.
Right? But a couple sat there, so I said, would you, don't be funny, will you just, would you try and, not with, I mean, come on, you see?
Jesus,
No, right,
taking
no,
some power
nothing,
though.
Nothing. And then the best bit of the whole thing is that the whiskey in the glass doesn't move at all as it's going towards the edge. You cannot see the liquid moving at all.
Oh.
I've only got one explanation for this.
You had a spirit, nicking your spirit.
Too bloody right. So I really, guys, I don't know. But that was, to me, that's the second best thing that's ever happened, ever, other than me seeing a ghost in that corridor down there. So,
Cool.
I don't know. So that's the theory on ghosts. And the last bit, of course, is the time zone type of thing. And again, you know, I say this to people because science won't have it. They're not interested. They don't want to know. No such thing as ghosts. But someone said to me the other week, yeah, but there's also no proof that ghosts don't exist.
True.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, you know, next time a scientist tells us no such thing as ghosts, quote this to them. For the last 400 years, men with letters after their names, astronomers, have peered into the night sky through their telescopes looking at ghosts. Because by the time the image of that dead star travels the millions of light years to the end of his telescope, he's actually looking at something that no longer exists. The ghost of something that once exists. But there's no such thing as ghosts, are there?
I think there is.
I think there is as well. I'm sure there. I know there is. Come on, too much.
Too much.
The other thing that you see, I've spent 30 years talking to people about ghosts, and I now don't call them I don't call them ghost stories anymore. I call them accounts. There's a difference. A story can be made up. An account is something that someone has witnessed that they believe happened to them. And that's a very different situation. And that's what that's how I refer to it. It's an account, not a story. Stories are made up, accounts aren't. And I can't prove that they've seen it, heard it, sensed it, felt it, smelt it, or anything else. But they believe they did. And that's a big difference. And the last little bit, just to finish, the proof that ghosts exist is the only bit I've got, is that 35% of children under the age of 5
Can see them.
have imaginary friends.
Yeah.
They do.
Our way of dealing with it is she's got vivid imagination. You know.
Oh yeah.
No, she hasn't. She's seen ghosts. Why do they see ghosts? Because their minds are open.
Yeah.
Because there's very little in a child's mind under the age of 5. There's also very little in your mind when you go on holiday. That's why there's much more chance of you seeing a ghost when you're on holiday than under normal circumstances. And the number of accounts I get for it, we hired a finca in Spain, we saw this ghost, we hired this cottage in Scotland, in Wales, in Cornwall, and we saw this old lady, because your mind's open, you've forgotten all about your worries, you worry about the bank account when you get back home,
Yeah.
and so there's more chance of seeing a ghost then. Like when we're talking now, again, there's more chance of it happening than when you really try to see one hear, one sense, one feel. It's right, isn't it? Again, and I get this all the time, and this is proof. And I'm convinced actually that Joe Public out there would love. You see, I can't get TV. Don't want to know me now because what I'm saying isn't scary, and they're not interested. It's got to be a scary program full of demons.
Yeah, because they want entertainment.
And running away, screaming and shouting, and you know. And I find it so strange because they're wrong. Because there's a reality that we love just as much as the scary part. We can still have these scary programs, but no, we need a new thing, and that's really why I've set up this YouTube channel. Because I'm going to do a series of stuff. I'm going to call it the Felix Files. And there's going to be all different programs about the different sides of the paranormal. Stone tape theory, ghosts in the church, screaming skulls, spontaneous human combustion, poltergeists, the stone tape, I've done stone, the third man syndrome. Oh, there's so many sides to this ghost business that people would love to hear, as well as the scare factor. It's not going to stop us watching scary programs.
No.
But people would like to know more about it. And on that note, Richard's going to shut his gob. Any questions? Like, is Derek Acora a fake? Was Derek Acora a fake?
No.
No.
Definitely
No.
not.
I mean, Derek was a showman. Derek was the star of Most Haunted.
Mm.
There's no getting away from it. Without Derek, he made that show. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he
And
did.
Whether,
He used-
whether you believed him or you didn't believe him, or you loved him or you hated him, you wanted to watch the show to see what Derek was going to get up to tonight.
Right.
The situation with Most Haunted, I mean, let's be very honest with you guys, that we wouldn't be here now.
Yeah.
True, because they started it off, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they
Most Haunted.
started it all.
Because the only thing that was what was good as well before it, I don't know whether you remember, it was Strange But True.
Yeah.
Yes, I
with
remember, yeah.
Michael Aspel.
Oh, sugar,
Which
yeah.
was more documentary type stuff, but very good actually.
Yes.
But once Most Haunted came on the scene, we set the scene for all of these shows that are on now, from your Ghost Adventures to your, you know what I mean? Yeah,
Yes.
they're joking apart. We got more viewers than Simpsons in our heyday. We set the scene. There's no doubt in my mind. The problem I have is that, right, as well, those of you that watched it, right, okay, and most people did, and it was very entertaining. All I would say to you is, did any of you ever learn any more about what a ghost was from watching Most Haunted?
No.
Really not.
No.
No.
You now explain to me the third man syndrome, what a poltergeist really is, the stone tape theory, no.
They
No.
didn't.
You see where I'm coming from?
Yes.
That's right. But regardless of that, that single programme created more argument, more debate, more discussion and more research
Yeah.
Yes.
than any ghost programme ever has,
Yeah.
Yes.
even or will to this day.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I believe that over the years, it degenerated into Scooby-Doo.
Yep.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with Scooby-Doo.
To be honest
Nothing wrong with
with you,
Scooby-Doo at all. I think it's a very good programme.
I used to love it.
But yeah, exactly.
I used
But
to watch it all the
that
time.
was
Yep.
that was
I've got them
my
on tape
my
and
my
everything.
worry
Yeah.
with it. And I'll be quite honest with you. Who am I? I mean, who am I to say? I'm the voice of reality. I'm the bloke that's trying to prove what ghosts are. The reality behind ghosts, not the
The
Scooby-Doo.
history.
And the first thing, of course, about it is that the profession of a ghost, if it had one, wouldn't be to scare you.
No.
Sorry, they're not
Living
allowed to
laws,
scare you.
No.
They were you and me.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
human beings.
But do you think that they really are a human being, or do you think there's something else as well?
Oh, who knows
Who
what's
knows exactly?
out there, or not out there, but here on another dimension,
Yeah.
frequency, spiritual plane, spiritual level,
Yeah.
heaven, hell.
Yes.
We don't know. No,
We know.
We don't know enough.
We
We
don't know
really
that.
don't know. We're too busy with Jupiter and Mars and things rather than looking into our own minds, to be
Yeah,
quite
well,
honest, our own
noticed.
brains to see what's going on out there.
Push
But
aside.
so, as regards Most Haunted, all I can say is thank you, Most Haunted,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
for because it's done my profile the world of good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I right. Okay. Have you ever heard of anybody screaming before they fainted?
No.
No.
No. Well, why would someone scream before they fainted? Well, because if they didn't, the camera wouldn't catch them in time before they fell down, would it?
Yeah.
Ah, it was
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
You
yeah.
understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
So, and you see, the next thing I will say is that, to be quite honest with you, most of the people on the show, it's the only show I knew of really that behind camera people became front of camera.
Yeah.
The makeup girl, the rigger,
Yeah.
the director, the sound man.
Yeah.
They all became superstars in their own right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all got fan club. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But to me, falling over, feeling sick, getting a headache, getting scratched, that's not what it's about, in my opinion. And so I believe that I needed to go because I knew that it would go down.
Yeah, and you didn't want to go
And I
down with
didn't
it like a
really want to
sinking
go down with
ship.
it because I think I know what I'm talking about as regards ghosts. And I have to say, I don't think some of the people that were on it did
No.
understand an awful lot about what ghosts were.
Nope.
But I still thank them, and I think they created a show second to none. Oh, there's no doubt about it. Come on, we
I know
talk about. But the other thing I will say, and this isn't not just necessarily Most Haunted, but I cannot understand why, when a paranormal investigator usually on TV, of course. When something ghostly happens, they scream and run away.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's,
I know, it's
I said
so
that
annoying.
earlier.
Surely you should rejoice
That something's happened.
something's
What are you going
happened.
for?
Yes.
Yes. No. It's like being frightened of fish and going fishing. Oh, I hate fishing. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, to me, Big Butch, whatever his name is, Zach somebody or other, or whatever.
Oh, Zach Baggins.
You're running away all the time, frightened of.
Yeah.
No, you're not frightened. You're a paranormal investigator, and if something happens, you should really get down to the nitty-gritty and start. First thing you do is you tick the normal boxes first, and then when you've got a box without a tick, you start investigating. You
Yeah.
don't run away.
Nope. Because you want to know what it is first, don't you?
And again, I hate to say it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like, what's that noise? Oh,
Yeah.
let's go and
I'm
see.
sorry, paranormal groups out there, guys, but all this. Are you scared? Dare you come on one of our ghost hunts?
Yeah, it's like, what you got me on for then?
Exactly. But then again, you see, guys, it's like going to Alton Towers. You wouldn't go on the runaway train that goes round and round and round and round. You can go on Smiler, wouldn't you?
I'm sorry, not that before.
Fear
Yeah.
factor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because it's the adrenaline you run towards.
Yeah, and that's
Yes.
why we watch. That's why we love to watch ghost programs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately, TV thinks that it's got to be scary, and it probably has. Otherwise, they think people will switch off.
Yeah, but that's it as well. Ghosts are not constant all the time. They'll just
Of course
happen when they want to. You know, it's just yeah.
Yeah. But trust me, guys, there is room for a real documentary type ghost program.
Yeah.
Because now everybody is so fascinated by it because of Most Haunted
Yeah.
that they actually want to know more
Yeah.
about what it's really all about. And I'm the man to tell you. Come on, Pete. So we'll do a bit. I mean, you got all night. You can stay all night if you want. I told you that. You're quite happy. I won't.
Dan, we're getting locked in now.
If you want to, you can. Honestly. What's the word ghost mean? Well, when I wrote the book, which is out there at only £10, signed copies available.
Ooh.
Well, I wrote the book. It's called What Is a Ghost?
Yeah.
But so I thought I'd better find out what the word means. Ghost. Ghost. Come on. What's it mean? Come on. I didn't know.
Go on.
I ain't got a clue. But you're paranormal investigator. You're on a ghost hunt tonight.
Yes.
Still knows, don't it? But what does the word mean?
It's separating dots, doesn't it? It's G dot.
No.
I was more thinking something to do with spectral something or other.
Okay. Well, actually, if you went to the Oxford English Dictionary, it says the disembodied spirit or soul of a dead person.
Yeah.
No.
No?
And the next question you're going to ask, which is going to really get you, is the word ghost a noun or a verb?
Noun.
I have no idea.
I think a noun.
You know the difference? I mean, it's a bloody long time since I was at school, kid. But I mean,
Same.
a noun is, hang on, glass. That's a noun. Yeah, it's a thing.
It's a real thing, yeah.
A verb is a doing word.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but the word ghost is a verb.
Ah.
This is
Doing
great
word.
stuff, this is lovely. Right, okay. So the word ghost comes from a Proto-Indo. You go to sleep, Phil, if you like, because you've heard all this before. A few hundred times. Yeah.
Night, Phil.
Yeah.
Night.
It's a proto, I don't know what that means by the way, Proto-Indo-European word, goizd. Ghoidz. Goizd. What does it mean? To be frightened of.
Ah. So it's actually in the word.
It's a verb. I'm frightened. That's a doing word. Do you know what I mean? Right. From that goizd, Ghoidz, comes the Old English word ghost, G-O-S-T. The Old English word Gast, G-H-A-S-T. The German Geist,
Geist, yeah.
Saxon Polter, Geist. Right. The Flemish word Geist, G-H-W-S. They all mean the same. They all come from this Proto-Indo-European word. Right? When William Caxton came over to England in the 1400s from Holland, he brought a printing press with him. First time ever. And before then, everything was written down by scribes, by monks and nuns, you know. But he came over with a printing press, and he took every English word, would you believe, and put it into print. and he took the Middle English word ghost, G-O-S-T, but it come from Holland. He spelt it with a silent H. Ghost.
Ah.
We got our ghost. Wind back to Old English, ghast. Have you ever been aghast at something?
Aghast.
Have
Ah.
you ever seen something ghastly?
Yeah, ghastly,
Oh.
yeah.
It's frightening. It's a bloody verb. Anything we don't understand that walks through the wall, footsteps going up the stairs, doors opening and closing, bumps, bangs, taps, rattles, things flying across the room, blah, 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 anything to do with it, we're frightened of it.
Yeah.
Because
And
it's
we
the
call
unknown, isn't it?
We call it a ghost. I want to change the name from ghost to energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or entity.
We normally really refer
It's
to
energy.
Yeah, I
refer
would
as
like
an
to say
energy.
But
Yeah,
the
it's-
problem
yeah.
we've got, if I advertised an energy walk round Derby, people won't come on it.
No.
They'd only come
Yeah.
on a ghost walk. But that's the word. We are nothing but energy. First law of thermodynamics, you can either create or destroy energy. That means that the energy that is you, and there's two parts. This is my latest. Simon, stop me when you're ready and say, "Will you shut up and can we get on with?" Yeah. There's two parts to us. I don't think anymore that the brain is where the mind is. I think the brain is the hard drive that stores the energy, stores the information. More than that as well. I think your mind is all over you, and it's your spirit, your soul, your energy, your consciousness, your ego, you. And when I say you, I mean you, because there's only one you, in this
Yeah.
universe. There might be others that look like you, but there's only one you, and you are nothing but electromagnetism, energy, and you cannot destroy energy. The other part of it is, of course, the vessel that holds the energy. That's energy, and that becomes more energy because when you die, your body becomes fertilizer for daffodils. It's still energy, but there's a within energy that cannot be destroyed.
What
that
happened?
has to go on in another. What's happening?
What happened?
What you see.
I'm just feeling like that on the top of my head.
What?
Oh, right.
Just here.
I'm falling off my chair.
Whoever it is, it's
See ya.
going backwards and forwards. Yeah? Didn't mean
Did
first
it
thing,
tickle your head?
I have
There's a mosquito there.
Chilled on
Again,
the
yeah,
back.
it could be.
Oh, it's all right.
Or whatever, yeah.
Mosquito.
Oh, they listen to us, don't they, Phil?
Yeah.
There's no doubt about
It is
that.
haunted.
They listen to us.
Well haunted.
Yeah,
Cute.
they did, especially Mr. Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My old friend.
Yeah, I know. So and it's nothing. That's the whole thing. It's an energy thing, right? That's what we are. So the word goes, but right, I'll zip through it very quickly if you want me to, or if not, just stop me. I believe there's two parts to the ghost business. One is 40%, and the other is 60%. And I believe the 40% of ghosts. I'm going to keep calling them ghosts.
Yeah.
Never mind the energy stuff or anything else. 40% of ghosts is an intelligence that's you. Your personality, your ego, your consciousness, your spirit, your soul, you. In an ideal world, that should go to wherever they go to. But it's not an ideal world. We don't always make it. In an ideal world, all babies should be born
Yeah.
first. But it's not an ideal world.
No.
Breech births. And,
Yeah,
it's all
I've
that
had
sort of-
one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so it isn't an ideal world. And so they sometimes go off at a tangent and end up spinning or get trapped or lost or whatever. But the other reasons are, and this is an intelligence, by the way, that knows you're there, that can come back to you and be around you if you need them, especially grandparents, things like that. They are around us at all times, but I don't think they're up there or down there.
Do you think they're still on here?
They're here on another level, frequency, time zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think they're up there and they don't pop back like that. They're here.
Yeah.
But I don't know why we can't see them all the time or why they can't make contact with them. I haven't got a clue. But unfortunately,
Well,
they don't, do they? They can't. I don't know
well,
why.
they can't show you
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they haven't got
don't
A
understand
human
why.
body.
No,
To show
no,
you what they
which
are.
is really strange. But so that's an intelligence that's there. So basically, why are they still here? Most of them aren't. Most of them have gone, some wherever. But those that are still around is because they've either got unfinished business, murdered, nobody found the murderer, executed in here for a crime they didn't commit, got a job that they never finished that they loved so much, a hobby that they loved so much that they still think they can. That's number one. Number two, they don't know they're dead.
Yeah.
Happens to youngsters especially. They've got the whole of their life in front of them, and they actually it's cut off in a soldiers on battlefields, airmen on airfields, young trainee pilot hit the ground at 350 miles an hour, spends the rest of eternity walking across the apron of the airfield towards the control tower. Is the war still on? I know it's a bad landing. Can I have another Spitfire? They don't know they're dead. And that's there's a lot of them like that around, especially on battlefields.
Yeah.
Blown to pieces, never laid to rest, never buried, never had a decent burial, that sort of stuff. Then the next one, they like it here. Mr. Simpson, Blythe Simpson, the jailer here. It's his place, isn't it, Phil? Still here.
That's yours.
I know, I keep telling him it's mine, but he don't like it, does he?
So that's why he's still about.
He was jailer of 37 years. That's a very long time for anybody in those days.
Yeah.
It's his place, and he's still around. Or Fred from the factory. That it was he never married. It was his machine. He treasured that machine. He polished it, cleaned it. You know what I mean? And then 2 weeks after his funeral, people see him standing back by his machine. He hasn't moved on. Houses, the old lady in the house that loved it so much stays behind. And it's only when someone starts doing work on the house
They don't like it.
they don't like it. What are you doing? Why are you knocking that wall down? What are you stripping my wallpaper off for?
Yeah.
I could bore you for hours with accounts from people
Yeah.
that have got the previous occupant in the house still. That so happens all the time. And then the last one, the big one, which is my favourite. Have you ever heard of the ghost of a caveman?
No.
Nope.
Why not?
Yeah, it's a bit
Well,
strange,
I did
isn't
this the
it?
other week.
Oh, for fudge's
Funny,
sake.
the other week, the bloke sat in the corner over that side. I said, "Have you ever heard of the ghost of a caveman?" And they said, "No." I said, "Why not?" And this bloke, "Because they were stupid." And I said,
What?
"Do you really think they were stupid?" I said, "Do you know what? They worshipped a god they could see and feel, that brought life, made the crops grow and the grass grow and fed the animals, and all of a sudden when it started to go away during the time of October, the prehistoric man used to light bonfires to try and attract it back." That's Halloween. That's how scary Halloween is.
Yeah.
And also a celebration of the harvest. But that was a god you could see. And prehistoric man knew an awful lot more about the earth's energies than we do.
Yeah.
And stone. And energy from stone. And earth. Come on. They knew a lot. So forget that one. But no. I'm not saying there are no ghosts of cavemen. There probably are one or two, but right. And then the other question I ask is, have you ever heard of the ghost of a young lad wearing a hoodie, smoking a joint, with his backside hanging out of his jeans, walking through a council house wall?
No.
Anybody got one?
No.
I'm not saying there are none, because there are modern ghosts. There are modern ghosts.
Yeah.
But not so many, right? And the reason is because 2,000 years ago, something came on the scene that's caused an awful lot of ghosts.
TV?
Christianity.
Oh, Christian.
That's what's done it.
Ah.
The Emperor Constantine, the Roman Emperor, was a pagan, worshipped Mithras, which had a fertility celebration every year called Ishtar, around April time.
Oh,
Easter.
And do you know what the symbols were?
Go on.
Bunny rabbits and eggs.
yes.
Yes,
That's
Easter.
4,000 years before Christianity came
Yes.
on the scene. And he worshipped Mithras. His mum was a Christian, St. Helen, keeper of the cross.
Ah.
And he realised mum's religion was good and going somewhere, so he hijacked it, nicked it, called it the Roman Church,
Ah.
and invented all the terrors that have kept us under control for the best part of 2,000 years. 10 Commandments, 7 deadly sins,
Yeah.
4 mortal sins, Judgment Day, Purgatory, Hellfire, Damnation, Beelzebub, Baal, the Devil, demons, the Antichrist, witches. The medieval man believed all this stuff. Of course they did. And so it's kept us under control. So you've broken a commandment,
Oh, sugar, yeah.
You've committed a mortal sin. Where are you going to go?
Down below.
Straight down below. Do not pass go. Go straight to hell and burn in hellfire for eternity at 10,000 degrees centigrade. They knew this. They were terrified. And so, I know I'm not going to get in through the pearly gates. I ain't going down there.
Draft.
I'll
You
stop
getting a
here.
draft?
Thank you. It's caused ghosts, basically, to stay behind.
They're filling a draft over there.
Just between us.
Now, that's what I believe is the main protagonist in this building. I believe that the vast majority of what's here, I don't know whether you agree with me on this one, Phil, the vast majority are the 40%. The spirit and souls of dead people that haven't moved
Give me
on.
ghost pimples.
But the other 40%, and I'll be brief on this one because I don't think this is quite so much, is I call the stone tape theory.
Yeah.
It's a recording held
Yeah.
in the fabric of the building. And it's caused because silica, how many times you've heard this, Phil, I don't know. Silica makes up the whole of the Earth's crust, rock. Sandstone, limestone, granite and clay are made of silica. Silica is made of oxygen, which is negative, and silicon, which is positive. And when the two come together, they create silicon dioxide, SiO2, silica. Right? Glass, porcelain, sand, cement, concrete, quartz, crystal, sandstone, limestone, granite, clay, bricks, they're all made of silica. Right, the redder the sandstone in the building, the redder the bricks, the redder the clay, the more iron oxide there is in it, which is rust, which is magnetic.
Ah, right.
I'm there. This is exactly the same as a cassette tape or a mini DV tape in your camera or a reel-to-reel tape, because basically the tape is made up of acetate, which is silica, and sprinkled on it is iron oxide particles, and you can hold a recording, but you have to have something in it to make a recording. All the stuff you've got with you now, there has to be something in there that's making a recording.
I heard it.
And it's called
The
energy.
footsteps.
Yep.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
exactly what I heard.
I just heard it.
Was it down here?
Yeah.
Can I just go
Of
and...
course you can go.
No, I actually heard footsteps. I heard a tap.
There's been a
It's
tap.
alright.
There's been a tap out.
We've literally
But
got
I actually heard footsteps.
goosebumps right here.
Yeah, I know you're saying about the draft over there. I'm just watching them all.
Yeah.
He did go through.
You see, this is usually when, you know that, this is when it happens. Not when we're sat there. Is there anybody there?
No,
Will you do
bollocks
this?
that.
Will you do that?
It's all
Can you do this?
Because they're not performing
It's-
monkeys.
No, they want to be around us. I think anything from telling jokes to singing,
Yes,
to doing
they like it.
anything
Happy
is
and
Yes.
creating
full of
the energy
Mm-hmm.
that helps them. I'm sure of it.
Yes, they do.
So although I'm
I
ranting
agree.
on and all, things are happening.
Yep.
More so actually than when you sat alone
Yeah.
in one of the cells or something like that. To be quite honest with
We've
you.
had it happen
Just
so
doing
many
normal,
times
isn't
though.
it?
We've turned the cameras off, haven't we? We've been gnashing along
Yeah.
and something else has happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
it's
I know. It
bringing
happens in
out
here.
the
I'm going to tell you something in a minute that happened to do with the whiskey glass in a few minutes. So basically, all this silica business, sandstone, limestone, granite, clay, blah 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 blah, all of that stuff can hold a recording, but there's energy in your machines here that
Yeah.
make a recording. So where does the energy come from to make a recording in the stone in this building or the castle? Because I believe that castles, stately homes, they're huge stone tape recorders that hold a recording, the image of a dead person. The energy comes from you. Because each one of us here emits 2 kilowatts of electricity in a 24-hour period. Not at this moment, but in a 24-hour cycle, you emit 2 kilowatts of electricity. But you have within you a power reservoir that you can use in time of crisis. And I don't mean 93 years of age dying in a nursing home. I'm talking about the 5 ingredients that create a haunting. Not a haunting. Murder, suicide, accidents,
Yeah.
battles, and executions. The energy that your body is capable of harnessing to keep you alive, harnessing all of that 2 kilowatts of electricity in time of crisis, is the energy that makes a recording in the fabric of the building. As we are dying, our body emits 1,000 times more photons than it does during a normal living state as we are now. It's known as a death flash. And it's the energy, as you are dying, that causes the energy to make a recording in the fabric of the building. Question. Why aren't all ghosts stark naked? How can you see the ghost in my what we've got on? I don't know what it is. A waistcoat?
No.
It's not about energy in it, is it?
No.
It's because that's how I was dressed when the recording was made.
Yeah.
That's why the Roman soldiers are seen dressed as they are in Treasurer's house. Helmets, shields, swords, sandals. Because they're a recording. They're not the ghosts, because it's the image of a dead person, and we're frightened of it. Yeah? But they're not the spirit and soul of a dead person. This is my huge theory, and I genuinely believe it makes up 60% of what we mistakenly believe to be a ghost. And the last bit, we'll carry it, I'll shut up then. Water plays such a part in the ghost business.
I can hear tapping.
I've been hearing what sounds like a tap, but I weren't sure if that was like the
No, I can hear like-
Oh, we get all this.
Never
All
can
this.
hear
You must
that.
remember that there are people, hang on, when I say living, that upstairs now, the people, there's a beauty parlour directly above us,
Really?
which is closed.
Yeah.
But they now live here.
Oh,
They've
that's
bought the
bleeding awkward.
They built the building, bought the
the
building,
building.
and built the boarding. And, they are up there, but you can't hear their footsteps. because
That's
they're
solid, that.
too up.
Floor, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's quite solid
Yeah.
anyway, this.
But if you've come down to do some cleaning, I'm not being funny, then yeah, you might. But a lot of what we hear is down here, Phil, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not.
As I say, I just heard what sounded like a rustling sound
Okay.
that was out there. So
Yeah.
don't
I
know
mean,
what
doors
that was.
open, close, things like
Tapping.
oh, come
Yeah.
on.
Say it was rustling, it was more like
water.
Yeah. So just to finish, right? So water
Like a
plays such a
stream.
part.
No,
Such a part. That if I live long enough, my next book's going to be called Toilet Ghosts.
What?
Toilet
Toilet
Ghosts.
Ghosts.
There's
Toilet
so
Ghosts.
many haunted toilets.
Actually,
Oh, yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Remember, they were. You see, the toilets here.
Yes.
That was a prison cell.
Oh,
It wasn't a toilet, but it's now and it's water. I mean, think about it: marshland, rivers, lakes, streams,
Yeah.
wells, bathrooms, toilets, kitchens have all got ghost stories connected with them. It's water,
Yeah.
which is such a much more important thing. Right now, then, water. Right, okay, we are made up of 75%
of water.
water.
Yeah.
Wow. We have
Just heard what sounded like a
approximately 5% silica in our bodies, which comes from the water.
Can't hear nothing, can you?
No, he's deaf as a post, that
Yes.
one.
When it rains, the water flows over the rocks, the mountains, the limestone, the granite, and the clay, and it absorbs the silica from it. That's why spring water has so much silica in it. The best one on the planet's actually called Evian water, which is, you'll be buying it tomorrow. I'll have to tell you this bit.
I like Evian anyway.
It contains more silica in it than any other water. Right now, our body is made up of 75% water.
Yep.
Our hard drive, our memory source, is made up of 85% water. Do you realise this brain is actually 85% water? Will the next supercomputers one day be water-based like this one is?
No.
But this is.
I know that is,
And
but-
this is the best. I don't mean mine. The best computer we'll ever make. Trust me. It's recorder, receiver, transmitter, video player, still camera, memory source, everything under the sun. Right. Punchline of the story is, as we grow older, we do not retain as much silica in our bodies as we do when we were young. We lose our hair because it plays a big part in hair. Collagen is all based on silica in our bodies, so we get wrinkled more, right? But the punchline of the story is, what else do we lose as we get older?
Mind?
Our memory, our marbles.
Yeah.
They've been experimenting in France for 25 years by adding extra silica into the water of elderly people, and they've reduced degenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's, by 25%.
Makes sense.
They're now doing
Really
it
does make sense.
in Denmark as well. Silica. Recording. See where I'm coming from?
Yes.
It's the image of a dead person. And we think it's a ghost. And it's caused by the trauma and tragedy, but not only trauma and tragedy. I think it can also be caused by
Yeah.
happiness, energy. It's energy. And I think we're so many ghosts aren't ghosts at all. But here,
Late nights, been on long flights, stayed on strange time. It's a strange time in my life. I took a drive home to clear my mind.